right, Tuesday morning kicks off, and there's already plenty to chew on if you're a Celtic supporter. Loads of wee stories floating about, some more serious than others, but all worth digging into. So let's get stuck in. I won't keep you too long, I'll promise. I know everyone's got things to do, but trust me, this is worth your time. Just before we dive into the real football chat, let me hit you with the usual. If you're watching and haven't subscribed yet, what are you playing at? Seriously, get that sorted. We're on the road to 15,000 and it's about time you join the party. Now, the first big thing to talk about is Joda. A familiar name and a familiar face for any Celtic fan, but this time, not for the reasons we'd all like. He's popped up again on Instagram. No surprises there, the lad does enjoy his poetic wee captions and thoughtful posts. But this one's different. This one hits a bit harder. As most of you already know, he's been ruled out for a significant stretch. We're talking anywhere between 6 and 9 months on the sidelines. And Brendan Rodgers has already weighed in, sounding calm and composed about it all. But make no mistake, it's a brutal blow for the player. Now, Joda's never really had to deal with anything like this in his career so far. He's been one of those players who always seems to bounce back, always looks fresh, always ready for the next challenge. But now he's forced into a kind of limbo, a space where all you can really do is wait and heal. And his post on Instagram? Well, it's a wee window into how he's handling things mentally. He writes, and I'll paraphrase it a bit because honestly, reading it word for word might make me float off into the sky, that he's just stopping by to let everyone know that things are a bit rubbish, obviously. But he's trying to see the bigger picture. He talks about making his professional debut a decade ago, and now he's viewing this injury as a sort of halftime whistle in his career. A moment to breathe deeply, reflect, and get ready for the second half. He says it's time to retreat, allow the wounds to heal naturally, and embrace the kind of growth that only stillness and pain can bring. And there's a line in there that stands out. He says a good friend once told him, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Now, depending on who you ask, that's either incredibly profound or absolute birthday card nonsense. But here's the thing. If this is what Joda needs to cling to right now, if this is how he's getting through what might be the toughest stretch of his career, then fair play to him. And let's not kid ourselves. It is a dark time. We're talking about a lad who's never really had to miss major football through injury, now being told he's out for potentially the guts of a year. That's not easy for any athlete, especially one in his prime, in a club and a league where momentum and rhythm mean everything. So if a bit of Instagram wisdom and philosophical chat is what gets him through it, then let him crack on. I actually found it quite interesting, the way he framed the whole thing. Thinking of his career in two halves. 10 years down, 10 more to go maybe. It's a perspective you don't often hear from footballers who are usually so caught up in the now, in the next match, the next training session, the next goal. But here's Joda zooming out, looking at the whole picture, and maybe, just maybe, that mindset will serve him well. It gives him a bit of distance, a bit of detachment from the daily grind of rehab and recovery. It turns a setback into a turning point. Now, practically speaking, this is a big miss for Celtic. Let's be honest, best case scenario, he's back around November. That's a massive stretch of the season gone. By then, we'll be knee-deep in European fixtures. Hopefully Champions League, but possibly Europa League, depending on how things fall. The next campaign will be in full swing, and his return, if it lines up right, could feel like a new signing. Though, to be fair, let's not give the Celtic board any clever ideas on that front. We still need to sign a proper winger this summer. Brendan Rodgers has made that crystal clear. And with Joda missing for months, that signing's gone from a nice to have to an absolute necessity. I mean, let's not dance around it. Celtic are going to have to be sharp in the transfer window. We were likely going to bring someone in on the wing anyway, but now it's urgent. No excuses, no delays. We need someone who can step in and fill that gap. Because while it's lovely to think about Joda returning as this poetic, rejuvenated footballing phoenix, the reality is we've got matches to win and trophies to chase in the meantime. So all the best to Joda, genuinely. Hope he heals well, thinks clearly, and gets back stronger. But also, let's keep our eye on the ball and make sure we're covered in his absence. Now, shifting gears just a bit. let's talk about something that caught a few folk off guard. There was a report yesterday that's raised some eyebrows. Celtic being linked with a move for Aberdeen goalkeeper Ross Doohan. And at first glance, you're thinking, really? That's a bit out of left field. But once you peel back the layers, it actually starts to make a bit of sense. So here's the background. Ross Doohan is a former Celtic Academy lad. He came through our system, but never played a competitive match for the first team. Left for Tranmere Rovers in 2022, and more recently signed a 2-year deal with Aberdeen. That deal's now winding down, and he's available on a free this summer. And it seems like Celtic are eyeing him up as a potential addition onto the squad. Now, big question is obvious. Why? We've already got Kasper Schmeichel. He's the number one. Then you've got Benjamin Siegrist and Toby Oluwayemi in the mix. So where does Doohan fit into all of this? Well, the clue might lie in Scott Bain's situation. Bain's contract runs out at the end of next season, and he's reportedly looking to move on this summer in search of regular football. He's 33 now, probably wants to make the most of the years he's got left. And to be fair, he's been a solid option when called upon. But here's where it gets technical and kind of important. Bain is one of those homegrown players who helps us meet the UEFA squad requirements. In European competitions, you're allowed to name a squad of up to 25 players, but 8 of those have to be homegrown. Of those 8, 4 need to be club trained, so they've come through the Celtic system, and the other 4 can be nationally trained, which just means they've come through any Scottish club's academy. Now, looking at our most recent European squad, the one we named for the Bayern Munich tie, we only named 23 players. You might wonder why we didn't use the full 25. Simple reason. We only had 6 homegrown players available. We fell too short of the quota. And for each homegrown player you're missing, you lose a slot in the overall squad. That's why we only had 23 instead of 25. And that's not ideal, especially in a European group stage when every slot matters. So bringing in someone like Ross Doohan, a player who counts as homegrown, someone who knows the club, even if he's not likely to play much, starts to make more sense. If Bain leaves, we're one short again. Doohan could come in, sit quietly in the background, and give us that squad balance we need. He's unlikely to ever be our starting keeper, sure, but it's a smart, practical move. Keeps the numbers right, gives us depth, and helps in those awkward UEFA registration situations. Is it an exciting signing? No. Let's not pretend otherwise. He's probably not even going to get a press conference or a kit launch video. Might not play a single competitive match, but that doesn't mean it's not a clever bit of business. Sometimes in football, you got to make moves that don't set the world on fire but make the squad function better. And speaking of Aberdeen, while we're on the subject, it's worth mentioning that they've managed to sell out their Scottish Cup final allocation. Over 20,000 tickets gone in a matter of hours. That's a massive statement from their support. The Dons took on the financial risk themselves, buying up the tickets from the SFA and agreeing to cover the cost of any unsold ones. So there was a bit of tension about whether they'd managed. But their fans stepped up. And now it looks like we're heading for something close to a 50-50 split at Hampden. Not quite, because we'll have most of the South Stands top tier, but still it'll feel balanced. And you know what? I think that's brilliant. That's what a cup final should feel like. 2 sets of fans, 2 clubs, both fully invested, both making noise. It's not ideal for some Celtic fans who might miss out on tickets despite going to matches all season, but that's just part of the price you pay for supporting a club with a massive following. There's always going to be demand that outstrips supply, but fair play to Aberdeen. They've made it a real occasion. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Celtic have confirmed the signing of promising Kilmarnock midfielder David Watson in a move that adds youthful energy and depth to the champions' midfield. The 18-year-old, who made a strong impression during his time at Rugby Park, joins the Hoops after a breakthrough season with Killy, where his performances caught the attention of several top-flight clubs. Watson, known for his composure on the ball and relentless work rate, has been one of the standout young talents in the Scottish Premiership. His ability to read the game and control the tempo from midfield made him an integral part of Derek McInnes's side, who enjoyed a solid campaign. Celtic's decision to secure his services underlines the club's ongoing commitment to investing. in Scottish talent with high potential. The deal, believed to be a multi-year contract, was finalized following weeks of speculation. Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers expressed his satisfaction with the acquisition, stating that Watson's attitude and style of play aligned perfectly with the club's philosophy. David is a player we've admired for some time. He brings tenacity, intelligence, and a hunger to improve, qualities we value highly here at Celtic Park, Rodgers said. Watson will join a midfield already boasting the likes of Callum, McGregor, and Matt O'Reilly, but he is expected to be given opportunities to prove himself in domestic cup competitions and potentially in European fixtures. While it may take time for the youngster to cement a starting place, the club believes he has the attributes to become a key player in the future. Kilmarnock, while disappointed to say a homegrown talent depart, wished Watson success in his next chapter. The club highlighted his development through their academy as a proud moment, demonstrating the strength of their youth system. For Watson, the move represents a dream step forward. Speaking after the announcement, he shared his excitement at joining one of Scotland's most storied clubs. It's an honor to sign for Celtic. I grew up watching this team, and to now be a part of it is incredible. I can't wait to get started and learn from the experienced players around me, he said. With pre-season on the horizon, Celtic fans will be eager to see how the young midfielder adapts to life in Glasgow and what impact he can make in the green and white. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.